Similar. Okay. All right. So I don't have a whole ton. I know that we were supposed to meet in November and December, and holidays just came so flipping fast that I kind of forgot about things. So I apologize for that, but honestly, we didn't miss anything. So let me get you caught up to date, and then I'll give you today's events because today we actually had some interesting stuff going on. Um, but November, December, we had a few programs go on. We had a program Santa Sleigh that was done by a couple of a Wakefield mom and dad. It's a STEM class, and the kids did. They can't call it Legos because Legos is trademarked, but they use Lego like bricks to build a Santa sleigh, and it was mobile. So there was a electrical component to it, and that class filled up within 3 days of 15 kids. I told the family when I met with them, because it was very last minute, I said, I don't think that this is going to run. We only have 2 weeks to advertise this, but let's give it a shot. Holy crap, that thing filled up within 3 days. So it was an exciting program. It was a fun program. We're going to use them going forward for a lot of our STEM programs. And this is a new venture for them. It's called Young Engineers is the name of the company. And they were just really good to work with, and we're excited to have them. So they'll do some more stuff for us. During Christmas break or winter break, we had SNL in, as we always do, and they absolutely crush it. We had 194 kids over the course of 5 days. One day, specifically the first day of vacation, I think there was 65 kids that day. So they just do a great job. Parents seem to love them. The kids have an absolute blast. So we're thrilled that they did what they did. And then really we're kind of gearing up for summer now. Registration's open for some programs. The ones that we run, we get those online because I don't need to contact anybody to put on dates. I know what dates I want to do. So we already have those online. The rest will be open by early February at the latest. Some current programs that we have going on or things that have happened with programs. So we have offered cardio dance for a few years now. Unfortunately, we had to cancel that because our instructor tore her meniscus. So she's out for a while. She thinks she'll be back in April. I think that she'll be back more close to September. So everything's fluid right now. But she'd been having some knee pain for a while, and she decided around Christmas time, I just can't do it. It's time to get it fixed. So she's getting it fixed, which is great for her. And everybody who we had to cancel was very understanding because
You
how
can't
can
you
I control
can't step in and do that for a few weeks, Peter?
that? Rich, I thought you might do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you and I could do it together.
yeah.
It'll go real well. Um,
Is it for adults?
it's for adults, yeah, 18 plus. And really the participants absolutely love the class. So sadly it's not running at the time, but she'll be back, she'll be better, and we'll offer it again. So pickleball classes, as always, jammed. We are doing an intro to improv class with Brian Augusta. Brian is a local resident. He actually lives right across the street from Albion. He does some variety shows over there. And so he's doing intro to improv class. He has 5 signed up for that. SNL will be back for February vacation. Soccer Shots is ongoing. We have 40 kids signed up for that currently, with another session coming up soon. We have worked with Soundplay Music for about the last year. It's a contractor for taught basically music classes. And unfortunately, they just never took off. It wasn't through the instructor's fault. It wasn't through our fault. We advertised as much as we could. I think there's just other competing interests around. I know there's another group in Wakefield that does it. So I think that some people may go there, or it could be a price point. It just didn't work out, so we decided to part ways for now. We'll probably do some one-offs. Those seem to work well when we do just a one day as opposed to a 6-week session. So, but we tried it. And then our rock climbing classes are full. Those fill up the day that we open registration. It's amazing how fast it is. We actually asked for more spaces, but they unfortunately can't give us more or even more days because they're just so booked. But we're going to see if we can do a 1-week clinic over there during the summer, because we don't use that other 4-letter word, the camp word. We don't use that. So we're going to try to see if we can do 1 week there over the summertime. And then youth photography classes we do over in Melrose. And we have 4 classes there. So at Hunt's Photography, they do it for us. So that's going well. And then we just opened up a new thing actually a couple of weekends ago. Karen and I got to talking, and we said, geez, we have Sunday nights open in the gym. And we thought, well, somebody's going to come and want to rent it at some point, and nobody was asking to rent it, which surprised us. So we are actually stealing something from Reading this time. Reading stole our pickleball stuff, so I stole one of theirs. They do Sunday pickleball where they allow people to register, like 20 people, and go in and play for X amount of time. So we're doing the same thing. They do theirs in the afternoons. We're doing ours in the evenings, from 6:30 to 9 o'clock is what I say. But if people say to 9:30, it's not a problem at all. And every week that we have so far is full. So we released the first two, because I didn't want people registering for every week and blocking opportunities from others who might want to do it. So we released the first two. After the first one was done, I released the third one. After this Sunday, on Monday, I'll release the fourth date. So people were really excited about it. We're taking 24 people for ours because it's 3 hours, and it fills up like nothing. So it's going very, very well. Any questions about programming? Nothing.
Dan, how many participants do you have for the youth photography classes?
Oh, we have four.
Four?
Yep.
Maybe you said that, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I might have missed that too, Gene. Um, so that's it programming wise. So at the Civic Center, we are getting a new floor on the lower level. If you've been down there before, it's a concrete floor that's been painted 5 bazillion times, and it always ends up flaking away. So the town has decided that, and this is actually going on now. They have a contractor who came in who's stripping the entire floor down. It was very dusty this morning everywhere, but that's to be expected. They're doing it at night. They do it from 7 p.m. to 4 a.m. And they are going to put down an epoxy type flooring. So it'll be 2 coats of epoxy and then one clear coat over with some flaking in there. It'll look really nice. It'll hold up much longer than the paint has. The poor guys for DPW, for years we've blocked off a weekend. They've gone down there, they've painted, and literally within a couple weeks, paint's flaking. It's nothing they can do about it. It's just such a high traffic area with the stuff from the Boys and Girls Club, with the food pantry lugging stuff in. It's a lot. This should last my entire tenure in Wakefield. And that's really what I hope to get through. After that, it's somebody else's problem. But everything I'm told is this is the way to go. So that's ongoing right now. Everything's been kind of ground down. In the one component that we had conversations with today is, do we actually wait until spring to put down the epoxy? I'll do whatever people tell me because it doesn't matter to me. The contractor's going to come in on a Friday night, start laying the epoxy. They'll be there Saturday all day doing epoxy. Sunday, they'll go in and do the final coat. People can walk in on Monday. However that needs to happen, I can make that work. But I'm waiting for some more answers. So that's what we stand with that. Now, on top of that, today at about 2 o'clock, maybe 1 o'clock, we were advised by the food pantry who's downstairs that some sewage was starting to come up through some of the pipes. So we went into crisis mode. I ended up calling Mackenzie O'Keefe, who's with the facilities department. Mac's great. He had the town plumber come over. Matt was working his magic to see what was going on. They ended up calling in a contractor to with a camera to check out the line. Thankfully, there was no break. We thought that a sewer line might have broke. That didn't happen. It was just really jammed up with sludge and stuff. So they're snaking that out, and it'll be fine. We did have to close the building this afternoon. So the Boys and Girls Club had to, unfortunately, move their services over to the middle school. Kids went over to the Galvin and were released from there. And then the younger kids went over to Stoneham. They bust everybody over there. So we kind of went into crisis mode. I had to cancel WBA and men's basketball tonight because there was going to be no water. So that's where that stands. But I have got updates that we are looking good for tomorrow. These things just happen. It's an older building. Pipe work is what it is, and it probably hasn't been done in a long time. But we're looking good. So any questions about those two things? No. Okay. And then gym schedule is, I'm sure, as you can all imagine, absolutely slammed. Outside of that 6 o'clock on Sunday nights, there is not a moment available in that gym. So it's great. It's nice that it's well used, but it is busy. So that's a good thing. And the Heritage Room is quite busy as well. Again, good thing. Moving over to the ACE, things are kind of what they are. But we are adding one new thing that's going to be starting in February. I met with a group who was looking for space for Irish step dancing. They have been over at the West Side Social Club for a while, and they thought that it was just a little bit pricey for them. And somehow they got in contact with me. I met with them, and it looks like we're going to be able to be a match. So we can actually get some revenue out of that. So we're going to charge them a rental fee, which we have not agreed upon yet. But we'll at this point where we charge nobody for anything, having something is beneficial to us. So they're going to come in one day a week and do some Irish step dancing. And then I talked to a mom yesterday. She had emailed me. Her daughter has participated in a bunch of arts and crafts kind of stuff, has her own little side hustle that she does. And she recently did a craft sale over at Follow Your Art in Melrose. And the mom said, is this something that you'd be interested in doing? I said, absolutely. I said, but I have no idea where to even start. And mom was fantastic. She goes, well, I can tell you the stuff that we've done going to other places, and I'll be willing to help. So she and I are going to put together a little craft fair, but it's for kids. So the kids who are selling their crafts, the kids who make their crafts, it's geared towards that. Anybody can go in and buy it, but it's for the young ones who are little entrepreneurs who want to do their stuff. So we're going to try and get that going and see how that goes. And I'm excited about programs like that, or things like that. It's new, it's different. Everything that we have is, for me at this point, cookie cutter, because I've done it for 21 years. And it's all cyclical. I can tell you what I'll be doing July 1st. Like I just know how the schedule goes for my job. So little things like this make me happy and excited. So we're gonna give that a whirl. Any questions about ACE? Nope. Got you, Charlie.
Sorry. I know there's a lot of issues with number of individuals that are allowed in there
Yeah.
and other events that maybe or should not be held. Is there any issues with other programming?
No,
Okay.
no programming and that stuff's fine. There is a 47 maximum capacity person in that facility at one time. The only time that really comes into play is like when we allow the high school a cappella. They were in there, they might have had 40, they might have had 50 people. Outside of that, it's not really an issue. Because there's no real large
but
group.
that's the 47 person restraint is because it's
No sprinkler system.
yeah, it's right. Yeah, you can update all that. And
Yep.
are there talks? I know
Yes.
at some point. Okay, good.
Yep. There's talks for that. There's lots of talks.
Good.
And at this moment, that's all it is. But
Yeah.
I feel like there's a pathway there.
Is there a need to put a warrant on town meeting?
So it could go that direction. I think the town is still getting cost estimates as to what it's going to be to do an elevator lift, the handicap accessibility, which has to be done in the fire suppression. So they're getting their prices, and then my guess is it would become a warrant article.
Okay.
And then honestly, we'll see if it's passed or not. I don't know. I imagine it will be, but I've been wrong before and I'll be wrong again. So it all depends on what people think the need of that building is. I'm sure there's some people in town who think, let's just sell it. It's the people's building. It's not mine, and we'll do whatever they tell us. So,
right.
But yeah,
right.
Discussion's ongoing.
Good.
Okay. Anything else about ACE? No. All right. And then, one more thing at the Civic Center I forgot. So I'm sure you guys have all heard that unfortunately a young girl from the Galvin passed away last week after a long battle with cancer. The family reached out to me this weekend because they want to do a celebration of life in there sometime in early April. We are doing that, and I'm not charging them for that. They are going to do a large block of time. Having lived this life, and most of you guys know this already, my older brother passed away 28 years ago in a car accident. I remember what it was like going through that. even though I was 20 years old at the time, but I remember my parents in their grief, and that grief, continues today. It's obviously much less than it was then. So this family's going through so much, and they want a little day to remember their beautiful little baby girl, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure that happens. So I'm going to give them the best day we can. So they are absolutely free of charge, and I've already told them, tables and chairs that we have are all yours. I'll make sure there's a speaker system there because I have one. We're going to go soup to nuts for these folks because they have enough going on. So just want to keep you guys in the loop for that. That's going to happen on or about April 5th. Okay. And that's something that I will attend as well. I didn't know Leah, but I know what the family's going through. So that's something that I will certainly be there for. So that's just a heads up on that. And then finally, fields wise, obviously fields are closed. I don't think I need to say much about that, but I did have the gates at McKenna Courts locked. And we did that last year because people were treating it as a dog park. I did it this year for that same purpose, but also because I don't want anybody going down there shoveling. I know many communities, and I'm on a text thread with Melrose, Medford, Malden, Stoneham, and I forget who else. Just a bunch of us kind of just chit chat who are in the rec field. And every town does it a little bit differently. And Reading leaves theirs open, and people can go down and use snow blowers, or not snow blowers. I'm sorry, the leaf blowers to blow off the court, or brooms. I don't want anybody touching anything, because once they do it in one town, they think, oh well, we can go over there and do that too, because people play all over. Ours are locked. Dennis locked them up for me. Once we have a nice break, if all of a sudden we have a good melt, we'll open it right back up. But once it's snow again, we'll lock it back up again. This is going to be a fluid situation. I feel like my job is to protect those courts. And I love the pickleball people. We all know that. But they are an ambitious group. And when they see an opening, they're going to take it. So we close that loop so it can't happen. All right. Any questions about that? No. All right. And then finally, I'm sure you guys all saw that Steve Mayo's retiring. On a personal note for me, I am devastated. I've known it was coming. Steve called me in December to tell me. And he's, his first thing was, are you sitting down? I said, yep. I said, I know where this is going. And Steve told me he's the best mentor I could possibly have, the best boss I've ever wanted. I told him this. He's a mentor, he's a friend, he's a confidant, and Steve has been like a father figure to me at times. I'm too old to be his son, but he has taught me a lot about being a father, a son, a husband, and I'm going to miss him dearly. So I hope that we get in a wonderful replacement for him, whoever that may be. But that it's a sad thing for me, and I'll be in mourning until July 3rd, and then I'll have to move forward. So, because that will be his last day. So that's it on that front for me. Does anybody have anything for me that you need me to work on? No, or otherwise?
Just Dan, the fields.
Yep.
Coming up to spring.
Yep.
I know you were, but last year, I think we're gonna work on a fee scale or a scale to
Yep.
charge people, because we were undercharging.
Yep.
How's that going?
Still fluid. We're getting some more research from a few more towns just to make sure that we are in line with them. The problem is towns are all over the map. There's nothing consistent anywhere. Some towns charge absolutely zero. And I'm like, how could you charge zero? Other ones are charging $300. How are you charging $300? So we got to find that happy medium. I'm thinking off my head that we're going to obviously bump up the youth user fee. Excuse me. Currently, we charge $5 a head for the season. When they use a lion's share of the time, and $5 is really nothing. I want to make it 10. Yep, that's a 100% markup, obviously. But it can. What I try to tell the user groups is, if we have this money, we can do more for you. We can more easily replace playground equipment. Not that we don't already, anyways. We do it. It's just going to make things better. And then looking at like turf fees. Right now we charge $150. We have to be about $250 for outside groups. I need to come up with a structure for AAU baseball programs because they're really kind of the big thing. right now we're charging $20 an hour, and those guys make thousands. As I'm getting more and more research on what they're charging, it is absolutely absurd that I can't believe parents actually pay for it because their kids aren't even guaranteed to play. So that needs to be, $50, even if that is for like Yule Field. That Yule's not obviously our best field in town. Like we got to charge $50. So I'm still there. That will hopefully be to us by March, realistically.
That $5 fee there, that hasn't gone up in years. So
Never.
I know it's going up 100%.
Yep.
And it probably should have over the years gone
Yep.
up, $1 or something, so it's now at $10.
Right.
And it's
But
just-
honestly, at the end of the day, it gets passed on to the people who are registering for the.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I understand there are folks that have difficulty registering, but most youth programs have programs,
Absolutely.
that will help
For
anybody.
lack of a better term, they have war chests. So,
Yeah,
they got money coming in. So they can take care of those who can't afford it and should, as we do and everybody else. So
I charge more for a hot dog down at Fernald than you.
right. Right.
Hey,
Yep. So that's
Dan,
what was
question, that $50, that's an hour, right?
yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Because I know-
actually, Bob,
I
when
know,
I was starting to work on your permits for your tournament
Yeah.
until I found out that a sewage problem was happening. So you'll get those tomorrow.
Well, that's
It's
fine.
right on top of my pile.
Yeah. No,
Like
that's- I'm not
putting
worried. I
this
know
in
you
right
always
now.
take care of it.
Yep.
Oh, I do have a question, about, the toilet facilities at, Vets. Do you know
Yep.
anything about that?
Nope.
About the schedule or anything? No?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Last I knew is it's going to be built, and the DPW, like, they take care of well, Maple Way softball takes care of now. Though the town goes and checks it out and will help when needed. Much like at Moulton and at Landrigan, the DPW staff will be responsible for making sure that's stocked and all that stuff. So I'm sure
Yeah.
at some point I'll be in charge of handing out keys, but
Yeah. No, I was just curious because I think one of the town councilors told me, I think it was a couple of years ago, they were expecting construction to start, like 2 falls ago or,
okay. Bob, like most things in town, I wait till they're built and then they give it to you.
No,
That's
no,
what
no.
happened that's what happened to tennis courts.
yeah, I was just doing a Hail Mary. I didn't know if you
Mhm.
knew. So, thank you.
No problem. Anything else? Nope. Mr. Chair, your turn.
Okay, nothing else. Motion to adjourn then.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are.